Good evening, Peter G with ABC News. It's taken 5 years of tense talks, but a deal has finally been reached to create the world's biggest marine reserve off the coast of Antarctica. The landmark international deal was brokered in Hobart over the last 2 weeks. But as Natalie Whiting reports, the new reserve has been given a 35-year time limit.
After years of negotiations, finally a reason to celebrate. The 25 members of the Commission for the Conservation of Antarctic Marine Living Resources have agreed to establish the first large-scale protected area in international waters and the world's biggest marine reserve.
Today, we've seen history being made. Today is a day that kids will learn about for years to come.
The proposal for the Ross Sea Marine Protected Area was put forward by New Zealand and the United States.
The Ross Sea region is of enormous global significance. It's got the most pristine marine environment of just about anywhere in the world.
The reserve will cover more than 1.5 million square kilometres of the Ross Sea in the Southern Ocean. More than 70% will be fully protected, with limited fishing for research purposes allowed in the rest. Proposals for marine protected areas have been put forward at the past 4 CCAMLR meetings, but have failed each time. Russia, however, was the only country left opposing the move before this year's meeting. After 2 weeks of negotiations, the agreement has required compromise.
We should have found a correct balance between the interests of environment protection and the interests of the fishing nations.
The marine protected area will have a 35-year time limit.
It's a slight concern, but I think with the amount of negotiation that's been happening over the years, this is a great first step.
There's hope this is just the beginning.
Australia, together with the European Union, put forward a proposal this year for an East Antarctic system of marine protected areas, and we really hope that the decision this year to adopt the Ross Sea Marine Protected Area will be a catalyst for our proposal. So we'll be looking forward to coming back to the meeting again next year.
The other 2 marine reserves around Antarctica will be considered at next year's meeting.
And joining us live from the Commission's headquarters in Hobart is our reporter Natalie Whiting. Natalie, what's next for those Australian proposals?
Well, Peter, the Australian delegation says they're preparing for another 12 months of discussions and negotiations with other countries. A lot of work goes on behind the scenes in between CCAMLR's annual meetings. This is actually the 5th time that the proposal from Australia and the European Union to establish that marine protected area in the East Antarctic region has failed to get support. They're trying to protect around 1 million square kilometres. But they're not discouraged. They're hoping that the decision today to implement the marine protected area in the Ross Sea will pave the way for them next year.
And Nat, while that Ross Sea Marine Park has naturally stolen the headlines, what else was agreed upon at the meeting?
Well, another major issue that was up for discussion at this year's meeting was krill catch limits. Now, krill are a keystone species in the Antarctic ecosystem, so protecting them is incredibly important. Australia says they've welcomed CCAMLR's decision to keep krill catch limits at a sustainable level for another 5 years. There's also been some agreements around improving policing of illegal fishing in the region.
Natalie Whiting reporting from Macquarie Street.